So first of all, my hair is back to blonde and I really like it. I feel like it's more me. And second, I finally got an order in the mail from Etude House, and this is their new Pink Skull collection. First thing I got, Life is Sweet coffee mug, and it's cute. It's got a little gold heart. I'm really gonna look like Barbie though with a pink mug and this blonde hair. Also, as a free gift, I got more of that True Relief, which, as you guys remember from my last video, I love this and I was almost out. Now I have more. Here is what we were all waiting for, products from Pink Skull. So I picked up both of the eyeshadow palettes right here, the two lip products with the coppery gloss and then the black gloss, and I picked up both cheek products. So I got both of their blushes. Now I'm going to tell you right now, if you have the Berry Delicious blush, this is same formula, same type of deal. It's really, really pigmented but feels really soft on the skin. That's what you're getting. So number one right here, this one is called Skull Rose, and this one is a very natural rose blush. I mean, it's exactly like the name says. It's a rose pink. I think it's going to look beautiful on cool toned fair. If you see it up to my face, it's got enough warmth in it too that it could also work for those of you with natural or yellow. It's just really pretty. It's really natural. It's not going to be one of those blushes that are going to super pop. It's going to look just like a natural flush to your skin. And I have to give Etude House major props for putting this color in there, because so many of their blush colors are either pastel or too bright. And I feel like this will transfer over to foreign countries a little easier. Shade number 2 is called Punky Pinky, and it is a very bold and bright pink, as you can see right here. The thing to know about this one is it's definitely not like the red from the Berry Delicious cheek line that they had. This one here, it looks super, super bold in the pan and you think that you're getting a really bright, bold pink. But if you swatch it, you'll notice it swatches a little lighter and a lot more natural on the skin. I'd have to say, of the two of these, the Skull Rose is my favorite just because it's really unique to Etude House, and I think it's really, really versatile. It's going to work on a lot of skin tones. And this one I think is okay, but it is pretty light still. So if you do have to buy one of these, I suggest Skull Rose. The next, of course, are the Duo Twin Shot Lips. Now, they came out with two, this one and this one. And the unique part about this is their twin shot tint on the bottom is copper and black. So when we do the first one, it's PK003, and this is called Pink and Pumpkin Shot. The mousse formula is the same. This one right here is a nice rose dusty red. It's not a bright red. If it looks like that on camera, it's a lie. It's definitely more of a dusty red, but I think it's still gonna look really, really beautiful on a lot of skin tones. The tint shot on the end is this copper. Now, it looks really, really copper in the tube, but you'll notice when I swatch it, it's not super, super bold glitter or copper. It definitely looks like a light gloss more on your lips. However, it will leave a really light pink tint behind. One of the things I noticed with these ones as well is that although this is a unique shade, it's not going to tint your lips with the strength that the blue Duo Tint Shot did. When they released the twin shots, they had the one with the blue tint on the end, and that blue tint stains so pink and it's so long lasting that it's actually one of my top tints to get. If you like a bright, bold pink, I highly, highly suggest that you pick up the twin shot with the blue, because that blue is staying on all day long. This is not like that. The tint that it's going to leave on my hand is really, really light and really, really subtle and not very long lasting. In comparison with RD301, which is called Funky and Skull Shot, this one is a much, much brighter red. If you can see it on my hand, I'm going to do it in comparison here. You'll see this is much brighter red, and it's definitely more blue toned because it leaves a little bit of a pink tint on my hand. Now, what's really interesting about this is the shot here, the twin shot part. This appears to be black, but the glitters in this are shining back gold and green and purple and blue. I mean, the sparkles they added into this is gorgeous. It's really, really pretty. When you swatch it onto the hand, I think it does have a little more effect. It definitely leaves a little bit more of a purple. I feel like if you have a purple lipstick, that this would look so beautiful over it. Again, same with the copper sparkles. It's not a super, super bold tint. It's going to change the color of your lips a little bit, of course, and you're gonna have some sparkle, but it's not going to change it a whole ton. And you want to see the stain that it leaves behind. It leaves behind the same color stain as the copper. If you see me wipe that, the copper is just a very light pink, and when this one stays on the skin for a long time, it will leave that same light pink. Honestly, I really wish that this rose dusty red was paired with this black. I feel like it would not only fit better, but look really awesome when paired together. This one is okay, but I feel that there's so many lip glosses that are similar to this that you can buy in the US now that I probably wouldn't do this one. A lot of the ones in the US also have more glitter, so they're a little bit more bold. So I say the best part is these two, but you kind of can't buy them separate. You have to buy them both. And the last, of course, are the eyeshadow palettes. Now, you have two different palettes. There's Lovely Skull and Funky Skull. So Lovely Skull is more warm toned and it definitely has more matte shades. So as you can see right here, you've got a nice warmer toned like dusty pink. You have a bright pink, you've got some peach and some yellow. You've got a sparkly peachy pink right here. You have a nice brown, and you have some satin shades and stuff as well. This definitely has a lot more matte shades to it. There are 6 matte shades. These 3 and the 3 on the bottom are all matte. These right now look like they're satin, and this one at the top definitely appears like it's going to be a glitter. Okay guys, when we swatch this, we're gonna start from the top left-hand corner and we're gonna go one row from left to right. I wanted to read the names for you at the same time, but the problem is that they're on the back of the palette, so I can't swatch and read at the same time. So let's start first. There is that pinky glitter. I was right when I said that it is very sheer. The glitter is really beautiful though, so do keep that in mind. Next we have that warm taupey brown. It's very creamy, it's very buttery, altogether I think a really well made shadow. And then you have a darker brown that seems to be a satin. It's very creamy, it's very buttery, it's swatched really easily, so altogether very good eyeshadow. This next one is a pink. It also is very highly pigmented and very beautiful. It's that peachy pink color. Looks gorgeous, swatches easily. The next is the bright pink. This one is a little bit more patchy, a little less pigmented, but altogether still a pretty good color. Then at the end you have the more reddish brown satin, and that is right here. As always with the Etude House satins, it is absolutely gorgeous. Their satin shades tend to be just spot on no matter what. And the final bottom row, we're gonna start with that mustardy yellow. This one is definitely a lot more sheer. It's a wash of color. It is not as pigmented or as buttery or as soft as the rest. If I do another swatch, you can see it gets a little more, but you're definitely going to want to build that up if you want that to pop. Then we have the other satin shade in the middle. It's a more warm toned rosy brownish color. This color falls flat as a matte color. It does not show up very well. Pigmentation is bad altogether, not so great. And then you have that dark brown shade on the bottom. This one is really nice. It is a little patchy, but it will build up color pretty easily, I think, and it should blend out very beautifully. Now, Funky Skull number 2 is way more cool toned. There is a warmer color in here, but in general, this is the cool toned one. If you'll notice, you have the gray, you have the really cool toned pink right here, you have this taupey color right here, you've got a little bit more mauve-y, you've got some dark cranberry red, you have a nice kind of taupey dark brown, you've got a cool tone. Well, that's not good. Okay guys, so my palette fell out. Luckily nothing is damaged, but keep that in mind. Overall, this is way more for cool toned girls, so if you have a cool toned undertone or cool toned eyeshadows look better on you, this is the palette to get. Okay, so now let's start with palette number 2, Funky Skull. The first is that cool cool gray tone, and that's right here. It comes up like a light wash of purple on the skin. I'm really surprised. It's pretty light, and definitely, even though it looks like a matte in the palette, it appears more with some light purple shimmer when swatched on the arm. Pigmentation is not great though. Next is that cool rose color. This one I feel like pigmentation is fairly similar. It's pretty light, it's like a light wash of color. You can try to build it up a little bit, but overall it is a fairly light color. Next is that cool toned brown at the top. It is satin, and per usual, the satin shades from Etude House are amazing. This shade is soft and buttery and so beautiful and shiny. Next we have that matte pink shade, and it is okay. It goes well at first, but you can see you have a little trouble building it up, but it does build up eventually. So just know that pigmentation right away is not going to be great, but with a little more, you can definitely build the color up. After that, we have that beautiful red color in the middle, and it is just as gorgeous as it looks. Definitely comes up a lot more red cranberry when you swatch it. So know that it's going to be definitely lighter on the eye, but it is beautiful and swatches so smoothly. Then we have that purpley cool brown, and that is right here. And as you can see, it is also absolutely gorgeous. So beautiful, worth it. Now we have that color in the corner, bottom corner on the left, that light shimmery color right here. And as you can see, it's pretty much just like that top one from the Lovely Skull palette. It's pretty much just a light wash of some glitter. After that, we have a darker red brown, and that is right here. Absolutely gorgeous. Seems very, very similar to this, but has more red undertone and a little less sparkle. Swatches beautifully, soft, wonderful. And the last one is the very, very dark brownish black, and it's right here. Again, it swatches beautifully. Etude House is always on point with their satins. Absolutely worth it. So let me talk about my impressions of the collection as a whole. I think they did a lot more with this collection than they did with the Wedding Peach collection. I just think that this one was more creative, it was better, even the palettes were super cute with the hearts on each of the shadows. Another thing with this collection is I think that they branched out a little bit from what they typically do, and I like that as well. I think it's really great that when they did the eyeshadow palettes that you have one that's more cool toned and one that's warm toned, that you have the two separate palettes. That's something that I really, really enjoy about this collection. I also feel like the colors in each palette work well together because they're in the same, you know, range of either warm or cool. I love the blushes. Like I said, that Skull Rose is amazing. I think it might soon become my favorite blush. It's just such a natural and nice shade, and the pigmentation of it is so great. Now, do I think that the duo shots are worth buying just because they have the different colors? I'd say with the copper one, the pumpkin, not so much. That's something you can definitely replicate somehow with someone's other gloss, but the black one I think is really, really unique, and even when you see in the pictures that they have, it just kind of makes it that smoky plum on her lips, and I really, really think that that is a gorgeous combination. Now, this is probably the first time I'm going to say that they have a palette that's worth purchasing, mainly because in the palettes I've had from them before, there's been so many shades that just missed the mark, and this one there were way more shades that were amazing than there were that were patchy and bad. I really also enjoy the fact that in this one they only added one glittery shade to each of the palettes instead of having more than that. I definitely would say if you have your eye on a specific palette, do watch the swatches and make sure that the color that you had your eye on is a good color. The satins are amazing, but some of the mattes just felt a little flat, so that is something that you really do need to watch out for. This collection as a whole, really good job. Good job, Etude. It's really good. So to wrap this up, I'm going to be doing some reviews of some Americanized products. I'm going to be doing a lot more of videos on how I felt about certain things in Korea and explain some Korean culture to you guys. I'm also planning on trying to do more makeup looks just to kind of make sure that you're still getting the videos and you don't have to wait too long. As always, if there's anything specific you guys would like to see, please put it down in a comment below. If there's any subjects about Korean culture you want to know about, put them in the comments below because that's definitely something I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to go because I have chips and salsa that are calling my name and I am about to answer, so bye. Hey guys, so I wanted to get a video out for you guys, and it is time for my August faves. Now the problem this month is the fact that because I was part of the time in Korea and part of the time in the USA, there wasn't anything that I used for the whole month that I was like, oh my gosh, that I haven't already used in previous videos. So I thought what I'd do is I kept a few items that I knew I disliked, so those ones are pretty much ones that I tried them and I disliked them, and that's been pretty much the whole month.